So, are you trying to break into AI engineering? Do you feel like you're kind of stuck on this treadmill of online courses that don't really lead anywhere? Well, today we are diving into a really powerful 90-day. It's designed to help you get out of that exact trap and join the absolute elite, the top 0.1% in the field.
Okay, that is a very bold statement. But let's be honest, it really gets to the heart of the frustration, doesn't it? So many aspiring engineers feel like they're doing everything right. You take the courses, you learn the latest tools like LangChain, and then nothing. The jobs that were promised just don't seem to be there. It's a super frustrating cycle. It's because the path most of us are told to follow, it's fundamentally broken. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got the path most people are on, the learner's path. You take a course, you build a project, and you just hope. You hope a company finds it interesting, but it usually ends in rejection. It's a strategy based on hope. But the top 0.1%, they're on the builder's path on the right. Notice how it's completely flipped. They start by looking at what the market actually needs, then they build the specific skills to solve those problems, and what do you know? They get hired. It's a total reversal of the common approach.
All right, so here's how we're going to break all this down. First, we'll dig into that AI learning trap. Then we'll get into the good stuff, the builder's playbook, which we'll cover in 2 parts. And finally, the most important part, your 90-day action plan to put it all into practice.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the AI learning trap. And, more importantly, how you can shift from just being a consumer to becoming a creator.
Calls this trap consumption mode. And I love this analogy. He says it's like the junk food of skill building. You know that feeling, right? You watch tutorial after tutorial, you copy some projects, and you feel productive. You get this little high from it. But it doesn't actually build any real muscle. You're just consuming information, not truly creating anything new.
In this right here, this illustrates the difference perfectly. An AI consumer basically just calls APIs. They chase the latest trends. Remember when prompt engineering was the only thing people talked about, and they used tools that other people built? An AI engineer, on the other hand, understands the foundations. They get how gradient descent actually works. They can debug really complex systems. And here's the kicker. They can build the tools themselves. So the question you have to ask is, are you just using AI or are you engineering it?
So now that we see the trap, let's move on to Section 2 and start building the solution with the first part of the builder's playbook. This is all about the foundation.
The 3 foundational pillars are these. Think problem first, master the invisible layer, and become a system architect. And look, these aren't just technical skills to check off a list, they're strategic mindsets. This is what separates the elite from everybody else.
Step 1 is all about doing your own market intelligence. Seriously. Instead of just learning some random algorithm from a course, you list 10, maybe 20 companies you'd love to work for. Then you go and you dissect their job descriptions. You look for the patterns. What problems are they actually trying to solve? When you do this, you're learning skills that the market has already validated, not just skills a course syllabus told you to learn.
Now this is so important. Step 2 is mastering the invisible layer. The common trap, as you see here, is spending 90% of your time on trends and only 10% on the fundamentals. The top 0.1%, they flip that completely. They dedicate a solid 30% of their time to mastering the core principles. Why? Because when you understand the foundations, you can pick up any new hot framework in just a few hours.
And that brings us perfectly to Step 3, becoming a system architect. Look, pretty much anyone can build a model in a Jupyter notebook. But the real value, the place where the top engineers live and breathe, is in that massive gap between the notebook and a live production system that's serving real users and, this is the key, making money for the company.
All right, on to Section 3. Let's get into the second part of the builder's playbook, which is all about execution. So the final 3 steps here are build your skill stack, wait for your streak, and build your own OS. These are the steps that take you from just being a coder to becoming a real strategic thinker.
Step 4 is all about becoming T-shaped. Your deep technical skill, that's the vertical bar of the T, but what makes you truly irreplaceable is that horizontal bar on top. Skills like communication, actually understanding the business context of your work, and high-level systems thinking. When you combine these, you become so much more valuable than someone who's just a pure technician.
Step 5 is a huge lesson in patience. Wait for your streak. Just look at Ayush's own journey. It took him almost a year to get his first job, which paid basically nothing, 20 bucks. But just 4 weeks after that, he landed a role paying over $2,500 a month.
The lesson here is that success is almost never a straight line. It often comes in a sudden burst after a long period of consistent work that nobody sees. You just have to stay in the game long enough for your streak to hit.
And the final step, step 6, is about building your own OS, your own operating system. This is the ultimate level. It's about moving beyond just learning how an algorithm works. It's about studying its history, asking why it was designed that way. This kind of first principles thinking lets you see patterns no one else does, predict new approaches, and create your own unique mental models for solving problems.
Okay, here we are at our final section, your 90-day action plan. This is where we turn all of this theory into actual practice.
And this quote just sums it all up, doesn't it? The single most important step you can take is to stop passively consuming content. Yes, even great explainers like this one, and to just start building. Knowledge is totally useless if you don't implement it. The time to act is right now.
So here it is, your 90-day blueprint. In month 1, you do that market intelligence we talked about. You find your knowledge gaps and you double down on mastering the core fundamentals. In month 2, you use all that research to build 1, maybe 2 projects that solve real, market-validated problems. And then in month 3, you zoom out and focus on those higher-level skills, refining your systems thinking and building out that T-shaped skill stack.
And so that leaves us with one final crucial question. Now that you've seen the playbook, you really have a choice to make. Will you stay on that familiar path of passive consumption, or are you ready to take the first step on the builder's path and become a true AI architect? The choice is all yours.